What's going on? So today's episode, I want to talk about losing a loved one, right? I lost my mother in 2013 to cancer. It was one of the most difficult moments in my life, heartbreaking moments in my life. Um, it's something that I will never forget that changed me for the rest of my life. And, you know, you'll never be the same person when you lose a parent. Um, and I feel like it's a little bit different, right? I lost my father in 2023, 10 years later, and which was funny, he's 10 years older and he lived 10 more years after her. But, and he died on the month that she was born. But I feel as if my father prepared me for his death. And my mother, it was like we knew the chances of her dying. My father's death was unsuspected, but it's just something you always expect to see your mom in her older age. You always expect to see your mother there when you have children during your wedding, and nobody really wants to think about that the moments that you could lose your mother. And I just remember before she passed, I came from work and I went to go see her at the hospital. This is 5 years prior to her death, and her medical condition was getting bad. And I remember coming and she says, "Hey baby, how are you? How was work?" And I'm like, "It was fine. How are you?" She's like, "I'm doing good. I'm doing good." I'm like, "Good." And 10 minutes later, she asked me the same exact question, the same exact way. And I'm like, "Yo, what's wrong with her?" And that's when my sister told me, like, "Yo, she had a seizure. She bit her tongue. If it wasn't for her cousin Linda, she could have passed." And I remember going to my car and crying like a baby. And I said, "God, please, if you give my mom some more time, please, God, please, 5 years, please, God, just give her some more time." And she lived exactly 5 more years. She put on her weight and she was doing good. 5 years later, she started getting sick again. I just remember seeing her and losing so much weight, and it was kind of like breaking my heart seeing how small she was getting. And at this time, my brother was like, "Hey, look, it's looking bad. Maybe we can send her to, out of the country in Haiti, and she can gain her strength and eat some natural medicine and natural foods to get her strength back. Let's just try that." So they went there, took her to Cuba. The doctors was like, "Dang, your liver is breaking down past the 70% mark. If it were 20, a little bit more, we would be able to cut out the bad part and give you a chance to save your life. But I'm sorry, it's nothing that we can do." And I remember that, really affecting her and the decline, right? And at this time, I'm just working a regular job, just trying to make ends meet. And my brother calls me, my oldest brother, Bruce. He's like, "Yo, Steve, do whatever you got to do, but get here because she's not looking too good. I don't know how much time she has left." And I remember I tried to do everything in my power to get there as fast as possible, but I called my sister, I called my other brother, and I said, "Yo, we got to get there." Neither of us ever been out of the country. We had no passport, and me and my sister, my brother's been out of the country, but my sister, we went to Miami and we filed for a quick passport, letting them know, like, "Look, our mother's dying. She's from here. We need to get there as fast as possible." So they shipped one out. And I remember just, my sister came to my apartment, gave her my room, slept in the living room. And right before I went to sleep, I just remembered my belly button just had a major shock. Like, boom, like I was like, ah. Like I woke up on my sleep as if electricity hit my belly button. And instantly in my head, I was like, she's gone. And I went back to bed, and then I just remember hearing cries and screams from my sister, like, "Oh my God, no, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying." And just crying and crying and crying. The most heartbreaking thing wasn't that I lost her, but that we weren't there in her final hours to consult her, to tell her it's okay and that we will look out for each other and be there for each other. That's what hurts me the most. But my last few words to her was, "I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, mommy, I love you, mommy, I love you, I love you." And she's like, "I love you, baby, I love you, baby, I love you, baby." Um, But yeah, I just remember working after that time, and I just remembered there would be times where I'll be working and I just burst into tears and start crying like crazy. And the pain of just thinking about it and how heartbreaking it was. And I just remember wanting to go to the military because I was like, you know what, I'd rather just go to war. I have no children. I lost my mom. I'd rather just fight for our country, and if I die in war, I die in war. And I've always been that individual where if you tell me to do something, I try to do it to my best of my ability. So I'm like, I know that I'll excel and do great in the military, but I wasn't going there for the right reasons. I was going there to fulfill a gap inside of me that I felt like I needed at that time. So a friend reached out to me and said, Steven, nah, bro, that's not you, bro. Chill out. That's not you. Just take it easy. Just think about it. After a year, if you still want to go, but don't go for that reason. And I chilled out, got my mind back together. But I can honestly say I haven't healed 100% from losing her. It is a something that you have to accept and continue to move forward with your life, right? I remember crying at a wedding that I was filming, and I just remember seeing the man, and his mother, walk down the aisle. No, they were doing the first dance, right? The son and mother dance, the mother and son dance. And it hit me, and I was like, I'll never be able to dance with my mother at my wedding. And I just remember crying, but my son would never see his grandmother, and all these things, come to my mind and affect me sometimes. But I just have to remember, like, you know what? She blessed me with a lot of great memories. My mother loved me. She would do anything that she could possibly to do to love me and help me. And she wasn't perfect. None of us are. But I had to do some forgiving, because there were certain things that she would do, and I would blame her for the divorce with my father. And as I gotten older and I understand certain things, and I don't blame her, and I accept my mother for being a human and being, who she was, just a woman trying to figure it out, right? An immigrant that didn't even have the ability to go to school, but somehow worked a job, drove a car, took care of her children, gave her children the best opportunities that she possibly could do. And I accept it, and I focus, and I choose to focus on the positive and the good memories and the funny memories of us all, rather than just to sit in sadness and pain and wallow away, and choose to have good and great moments with my son and bestow wisdom and understanding and love upon him, and hug him every time I see him, and give him kisses every time I see him. And for my future children and my nephews, to be there and support them no matter how, what I can do, and fill that gap that she's not here for. So I just wanted to give that little story out in case you lost your mother. And the next episode will be about my father and our relationship and how I dealt with that. I even remember going to a self-development course, right, from Landmark, and just bursting into tears because I saw something with my mother, and it stuck in my mind, and I'm like, this is affecting my relationship. And and I called my oldest sister, and I'm crying on the phone, and I'm bawling into tears, and just forgiving her and accepting her for being human, and accepting her for not knowing it all, right? Sometimes we want our parents to be God and all-knowing and masterful, but they're just going through life for the first time like we are. All right, so I'm gonna label this losing my mother and gaining acceptance, okay? So if you haven't done nothing all day, I just want you to do one thing, and that's trust the process. So hey, love, peace, and happiness, man. That's all I want to say, all right? Peace.
I don't care what they said about you. I don't care about the story that you make up in your mind. You are part of the universe. You are from the soil of the earth and the breath of God. This is your moment. This is your season. You can achieve it with affirmation, dedication, and consistency. Whatever you want, you can get. Whatever you want, you can get. Trust the process. Let's go.